Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of FCC Supporter Square. I am your host, Matt Warman. With me, as always, is the man who drinks a lot. No, he doesn't drink a lot. He drinks some. He does do some drinking. Let's just put it there. Mark Suffin, how you doing, Mark?
Doing just fine, sir. Good to see you, and great to have a guest along with us tonight.
Absolutely. As I say, this is the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. We had to bring in a fan. Richie from Vanguard, how you doing, my good man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? How you guys doing?
I can't complain, but I still do.
Sure, absolutely.
So we've been in a bye week, a show week. FC Cincinnati has not been in a great run of form, so let's just I was trying to do what I don't normally do, which is a little research. We have 5 matches left, three home matches, 2 road matches. We've lost our last 3. The last 2 of them were at home. That's not good. We have a huge Saturday matchup with Nashville. Nashville is tied with Charlotte, but technically in 4th place. A loss by us and a non-win by Charlotte puts them in 2nd and drops us probably down to 4th. We don't want that. So this is another 6-point piece. As I said the last couple of weeks, the playoffs start now. We're only 5 points shy of the Shield, so it's not out of reach. It's not where we wanted to be. That 6-point game swung against us, as everybody knows, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And so we still have the hope for that, but we still need a win to not fall further and kind of limp into the playoffs, because we've been pretty good so far. So we had an international week off. So we're going to talk about where the team is this week, where you guys feel we are and what we're doing. So my first question to you, my guest, Richie, is how are you feeling about the team right now, and where do you think they're going to go by the end of the season?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's a little rough right now. This last month was what it was. As a fan, standing in the front row watching that, it's not great. I still think, to be fair, we're really not in a bad place. We added a lot of new pieces over the last couple of weeks. Those guys have to fall in. They have to, find their spot and figure out where they are. We traded a couple guys off. We brought a couple guys in. It's short time to get it together, but we really kind of need to do it.
I think, as per usual, the last time we were in a little bit of a funk, we had a couple of weeks off we didn't have time off. We still had Leagues Cup, but we had Leagues Cup, which took the pressure off a little bit. They focused on different things. Some of the people who needed rest got rest. Once again, I think it's fallen into this international break has fallen into our favor. We've got everybody into the fold. I did take a look at injuries and suspensions. Apparently DeAndre Yedlin picked up a yellow card on his opener, and he is out on yellow card accumulation. I thought we had our Madzuk was out, but maybe he already served that in Philadelphia. I can't remember what that is, but I looked it up, and he's not on yellow card accumulation.
Right.
The only person that we have is Obi, who's not playing, and Flores. So as far as yellow cards and anything coming up in the future, we don't have anybody from the suspension standpoint. I heard on yesterday, Robinson and Kubo were off to the side, but they were practicing. I fully expect one, if not both of them, to be in. I haven't heard anything about Obi, whether he's doing anything, but we should be at full strength. Is there anything that you are concerned about, Mark, where we are as far as suspensions or injuries or the lack thereof? What do you expect to see this coming Saturday as far as the team being out on the field?
Well, obviously, without Robinson, that puts the onus on Miazga, and I thought I saw he was not fully in training this week, at least where I got from Laurel Failer. So what I'm hoping for is, we need a strong defense this weekend because we have to get a result this weekend. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very tough to stay up. It's just too tight. Other than the first place, it's tight otherwise, and we've got to have a result this weekend. Otherwise, it's going to be we're just going to drop further. We've had these little lulls, and we've gotten out of them. So I'm hoping that this Saturday starts the getting out of it. I want to go back to the kind of play we had against Portland. That was masterful for at least a half, and I want to see that kind of attack and that kind of excellence on the field that they showed in Portland. They can do that at home easily, and I'm hoping for that this Saturday.
As I've been saying for quite some time this year, it's all about the matchups. We don't seem to match up super well with Philadelphia, although we play them close historically. When they were really good and we were not really good, we still would be on the losing side, but would give them a fight. And when we were winning the Shield, we would take it to them and actually beat them. I think the Charlotte is kind of that kind of matchup. If you watched American football, you would see that the Cincinnati Bengals don't match up well against the Cleveland Browns, even though they looked like the better team. I don't think we have a matchup problem with Nashville. Historically, we've pretty much handled them. Not so much back in the USL days, but definitely the last couple of seasons in Nashville. We've been winning, particularly in Nashville. We won again this year in Nashville. And so it's an important game. I think Nashville seems to have their act together. Last year we played them. They did not have their act together, and yet we didn't have our act together and got beat pretty handily after a 7-game win streak. So what do you think? Where do you see the two teams? What are you looking for, Richie, with this coming up matchup?
I mean, honestly, I want to see our defense come together a little bit more than they have the last few weeks. God, I'd love to see. We have so much firepower now. I'd just like to see some offense, any more than just barely winning or just barely losing. We have so much money in potential goals that we are just not scoring right now. It's silly. It's silly for all the money that we've been putting out and all the people we've been bringing in. Just one goal up, one goal down is insanity to me.
Getting people, I mean, we have a summer window. When you think of a summer window, you think mid-season, but really our summer window and particularly our signings came in just at the end of the wire.
Right.
We only have 5 games. We're only going to have Brenner for 7 games before the playoffs. He does know the system, which helps. And the wingback, who I butcher his name all the time, Markzuk.
Markzuk, yeah.
He apparently knows the system that we play, so that's good. I don't know much about Giddy, but he looked like he was ready to go. And now an extra week of not having to worry, 2 weeks actually, of practicing with the team. I think the offensive will happen. But the key news here this week is that, and I don't know what that means for Brenner or how we're going to do things for next year, and we'll leave next year for next year, but Miles Robinson signed a 2-year extension with the understanding that he will be a DP next year. I think it's well earned, well deserved. He could have gone to Europe. That's what Atlanta, I think, thought, and then he came here. I think he's happy here. We certainly are happy having him. And that's going to be interesting this Saturday if we can finally play with Hagelin, Miazga, and Robinson. And even if Miazga is out, I think if you put in Hadebe and put Hagelin where Miazga is, that's at least we got some defense, right? The one thing about losing particularly the last couple of weeks is that Robinson has been out, and we always think of Miazga as the anchor, but Is it Robinson? Is it Robinson? Is that what you're thinking, Richie? Is Robinson the anchor of this defense, or is it Miazga, or is it both?
I honestly, my opinion right now is Obi is the guy that we're missing in a bad way. I feel like with him not being in that spot, all these other guys are trying to fill in. He's just he hurts me and gone for as long as he's been gone.
I love you going off the board.
That's just where
Mark?
I mean, I think that's where it's at right now. I think we're hurting missing Obi. That guy was just more of a force than people give him a little credit for.
Mark?
Yeah, he hit the nail on the head. Obviously, missing Obi has been a huge hole. Our defensive midfield was Obi. We don't have that now. So it's been a committee of trying to defend, and we see what ends up happening. It's kind of that park the bus uh, game plan that nobody wants to see. But if we're not getting the ball up the field, we have to defend. So yeah, it's just going to be tough. Now, it's interesting to see Nashville. They only have two real scorers in Surridge and Mukhtar. They have 34 goals between them. The next highest, there's a few of them with two. So, I mean, we clearly know who we need to defend on Saturday. So, I would say if we have those two guys locked down, it's a pretty good bet that we're going to do pretty well. So, now, granted, it's saying with one thing and executing is different. We'll have to see. But I mean, I think that's a game plan we have to employ is to make sure that their two scores in Surridge, he's a proven scorer. He's already got 20 this year. So it's incumbent on us to just lock him down. And then Mukhtar's just going to be Mukhtar, former MVP. He's still a threat to score, and he will at whenever. We've got to lock him down as well, and just keep things mixed up in the midfield as best as possible, and we might get a couple of goals here and there. If we're playing the way we should be playing, goals should be coming. So looking forward to this match this Saturday.
I think all of these are some great points. First off, I don't think Hani Mukhtar has scored against us, at least not in run of play. He might have
Right.
scored a PK in extra time or something like that, but he hasn't
True.
scored in run of play. So it's one of the few teams that he hasn't scored on. So we
Yes.
know how to defend him, and we have the players back that can defend him. On your point of Obi, I've been saying it for some time. Brian Anunga is Obi when we first got him. Obi was a great defender, not a great distributor with the ball.
Right.
I think Brian Anunga is exactly that. He is a great destroyer. He knows Nashville. He's from Nashville, so
Yeah.
he obviously is going to know what they want to do and try to interfere with that. But soccer is like hockey, I guess, in the sense that offense and defense are closely interrelated, right? If you're watching American football, it's either offense or defense. You don't worry about your cornerback when Joe Burrow has the ball. It's offense doing what it needs to do. Soccer is different. And if you don't have somebody in the defensive third, like what Obi can do now, beat a man if he has to, make the pass in tight spaces confidently, not just passing the ball the outlet, but actually passing and breaking the press and giving it to a player where our like Evander doesn't have to come all the way back to our 30-yard box, not our box, but our 30-yard line to start our offense. If Obi handles that. Brian Anunga doesn't do that, but he destroys, and that's what we need him to do. And that means Buka has to come back more, and that means that everything else gets kind of bogged down, and so there is that, and we can't teach Brian Anunga even in a year how to be Obi. I mean, it took Obi 2 or 3 years to figure out what we were trying to do passing wise, and now I remember when he couldn't do it, and then he did it poorly, and now he's doing it great, or he did until he got injured. So I think that injury more than anything else has affected our offense, which is weird because you're like, well,
Yeah.
you said we spent like practically $50 million on all these guys. Why are they not putting the ball in the net? Well, if you have to start 20 yards sooner than where you should be, that lets the defense set up. Philadelphia was before even the red card was parking the bus. Once they got the one goal, they could care less about the second goal. And we have a hard time breaking it down. I saw that Evander had 13 crosses in the Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
That man is supposed to be shooting, and that man will shoot from 20, 25, 30,
Yep.
35. All of our free kicks, maybe they were a little long, so maybe you couldn't take the shot. Maybe it was the wiser thing to do to just throw it in the mixer and hope somebody would head it in. And actually, I think we had a chance on at least one of those. But yeah, usually when you get a free kick, you want Evander to take the shot, not throw it into the mixer and hope something comes in. And that's what kind of happened. And we'll see what happens with the Nashville match. So I think both of you guys have some valid points of where we are in this season. I'm excited that we might be putting as close to the starting 11 as we possibly can out there. I would love to have Engel as a wing back doing the crosses, and Orishano out there, and have Madzuk come in at some point, or Dado, or right. We got Brenner, who now has 2 weeks with Denke and Evander. I think there's some gelling time. I don't think he needs a lot of time to gel, but now he's been here a little while. Now I think we know what we're doing. How do you see the game Saturday, Richie, playing out? What's your score line? What do you think?
Okay, so I feel like in the last couple of years, how we've been playing, when we get in these slumps where we have 2 or 3, 4 games where we're just not playing well, we come back with a vengeance, and we usually go on a pretty good streak. If we come back and we're really wanting it, and we're trying to go for the cup still, or excuse me, the shield, we're gonna come out and put on like 3 or 4 to 1.
I like your thinking. Mark, where do you see us going Saturday?
Well, with the aforementioned, if we can lock down the 2 main scorers and hopefully get a clean sheet on our side, I'm thinking a 2-0 victory might be exactly what would be a strong win for us over a top 4 team. So 2-0 would be amazing. I would love to see it, and I hope that happens.
I'd like to see a more than 1 goal win. I think the conditions are different than the Philadelphia game, even though they're playing well. I don't think Nashville has the defense. I think they had to loosen their defense to get a little more offense. I don't know if they've actually. I think their midfield still is probably just distributing to their scorers. But I don't know if they've beaten any of the top teams. Now you could say the same thing for us. We've lost twice to Charlotte and twice to Philadelphia, but we've beaten Orlando. We've beaten Miami. We've beaten Nashville. We've beaten Chicago twice. New York City. Well, we don't want to talk about that one either. But I think we match up well against them, and I think if we have our head in our game. I think last year we had a 7-game winning streak and we didn't take them. We took them lightly, and if you take
exactly,
yep.
I think you're right, because we don't usually go through little streaks. We have been. I think the combination of having players back, but not just back. I mean, maybe Miles Robinson is not 100%, but I think he's close enough. But having players back. Having lost a couple of games, particularly at home, which is unacceptable for any team, but especially this team and this fan base. I think between those 2 things and the style of play that they play allows us to have more offensive flow, a little more possession. I think Evander has a little more practice with Brenner, so he knows what choices to make. I think it's going to be I think a two goal win is achievable.
Yeah.
So let's play crystal ball, because usually we just go what happened last week, what happened this coming week, but this is the playoff run, right? So we have 3 home games, 2 road games, 1 week break in the first week of October, because everybody plays on Sunday for decision day. But we have the currently the number 5 seed Orlando coming in. We didn't have Evander that game. Dado made that game happen, and we beat them earlier. Do you see us winning or losing?
Orlando,
Yep.
we win that.
Mark?
We win that.
Yeah, that's got to be a win for us. At this point, we're late in the season. It doesn't matter, what's happened already this year or who's beat who, because we can just say, Nashville beat Orlando 5-1, and that happened recently. So,
Yeah.
and then Nashville's also beat Columbus by 3. So those things happen. But Orlando's a strong team. Always, they've been a strong team for about 3 years, and it's just going to be another fight. But end of season, we need to be in playoff form. This will be a great test for us, and if we pass that test, we're looking really good.
Yeah, the rest of the season, I would think, are winnable games. We go on the road to the Galaxy, although they are what, League Cup finalists, champions. I don't know how that happened.
And wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the strangest thing ever.
It seems to oftentimes those other cups seem to be, that's what they put all of their eggs in the basket and say, let's do whatever it takes to get this done. So we have something this season. But we're playing them in LA. But this team is such a road team. If somehow we lost to Charlotte and Orlando and fell to 5th, that's not the end of the season, because this team loves to play on the road. They love getting booed, I think. So I don't think we're going to be there. I think we're going to finish top 4. If we do beat Nashville, we officially clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Not the second place, but we do officially.
We're in the playoffs.
If we draw and then somebody else draws, whoever's playing Portland, I can't remember who that was, if it was Miami or somebody else. We are in the playoffs. So right. So as I said, that's mathematical stuff. I don't really care about that. We know we're in the playoffs. I just would like to settle it today. After that, then we have a home match or a road match with the Red Bulls, and the last game is Montreal. I think both of those. We know we hate the floppers. The Red Bulls, depending on when we play them, they may be out of the playoffs, and they probably won't care. So these are the kinds of things that we have to watch. Crystal ball, Philadelphia has Nashville and Charlotte still to play.
Yep.
And other winnable games. Nashville has us and Philadelphia, obviously.
Philly. Yep.
And Charlotte has Inter Miami, which goes to one last thing. So I think we have a good chance. I know we're 5 points behind, but we still have a chance for a shield, but we have to pretty much win out. I think all 5 of those are winnable games. Does anybody disagree with all 5 of those games not being us at least favored?
I don't. I can't see us not. I mean, yeah, there's Nashville's the only game that's going to be, I think, the toughest one for us. Just look at that list. Yeah.
Look, we had a lull. We had that mid-season fun during the Leagues Cup that we talked. Everybody was like, "Well, we're going to finish 4th or 5th, and maybe we still end up being 4th or 5th." And I said 1st, and I said why? I said because we've had some time to gel and do that. I think it's the same conditions. If we win the last 5 games, we're going in with a 5-game win streak.
Yeah.
With a team that has still learning to play together, but has come a long way. So as bad as the last 3 weeks are, as bad as trust me, I'm just as unhappy as everybody else. But if you go in with a 5-game win streak, I don't care if they say Philadelphia or Miami or whatever. The power rankings, those are stupid. Those are just to get you to click, right? So if your team is rated low, it's because they want you to interact. So I don't care where we are. If we go in a 5-game winning streak, we're going to be right there. And if we're first, then obviously we'll be the favorites. Whoever's at first in the East will be the favorites to win the cup. Hopefully it's us, but we can get to that. So one last piece of business from the MLS, the Leagues Cup final or leg one caused an issue. The MLS said we're not going to do anything until Leagues Cup did something, and then Leagues Cup said yes, you're going to be there. You're suspended for like 6 or 7 matches, and you're like, Suarez isn't going to do this again. This is probably his last year, or at least the last year in MLS. So it was like, oh well. So MLS gets off the hook because Leagues Cup did it, but now they've suspended him for 3 matches with the 7 matches to play. Not having Suarez, they got lucky that Busquets, who threw a punch, didn't get any suspensions.
Yep.
But I think that puts a crimp on them. Columbus is playing poorly. If it would end today, we the 2 seed would play Columbus as a 2-leg. Seeing that some of those guys may drop down or drop up, depending on how we play, and the top teams are playing each other for the right to win the Shield. Where do you see us land, and who is our first round opponent, Richie?
Ooh.
I don't ask easy questions all the time.
No, you don't. Where do we land? We get through Nashville. If we can win out or get 4 of those with a win and 1 with a tie, we're second or first seed, I think. I really think we get there. But if we get through Nashville, we have to get through Nashville. If we can handle that with a W, then I think that's where we land.
Mark? And then okay, go ahead. Just where do we land first?
Me or Mark?
Mark.
Oh, that's you.
No, you go. He said second, first or second.
Oh, okay. I fully think if we get a result with at least 3 wins, 2 draws, that's 11 points. I fully think that might get us enough to get the number 1 seed. I just think there's just enough. We need a result every match. It can't be all draws, of course. I'd like at least 11 points. That would put us in a really good position for either number 1 seed if we make it, or a number 2. Obviously, it depends on where Miami ends up with all their massive amount of matches to catch up. If we have 5 matches,
Yep,
they have 9 to catch up. They have to play 9. They're going to be.
I said 7, but yeah,
They're going to be dropping on the field. And it's going to be bad to see them try to catch up 9 matches in the next 40 days or so. So I don't know what to say, but God love them. Hopefully they can get through all that. That's a gauntlet right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's on them or them complaining to the league like we shouldn't play because we're old, and they gave them so many times off because we're in this tournament and that tournament and blah blah blah. I don't care. So real quick question, because we are running low on time, but we still have some things. Does Miami make the playoffs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they make the playoffs.
Okay. I'm not sure. I honestly am not sure.
They're currently 6th. So they're in the range right now with 4 games in hand. So all they need is a few results and not just totally ditch the season, and they'll be in the playoffs.
Philadelphia is on and off. So I just noticed that the player who got a red card in our game, and this was fun. He got a red card because he got 2 yellow cards.
Yes.
So he is suspended this Saturday's match for the red card, and next Saturday's match for yellow card accumulation. So he's out for 2 weeks.
Good.
Oh
He's
my.
probably their best defender, or better defender, at least I would think. They'll have to play around it, but there you go. So, and
That
Philadelphia is
hurts.
wildly up and down. I mean, they played inspired ball. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but they lost the game that they probably should have won in the match before they came in to play us. So we have we have time. I think if we win 15 points, that puts us at 67.
Yeah.
Uh, that's very close to winning the Shield. I don't know if we win the Shield. I don't know how San Diego is doing it with the first year team, but that puts us as first or second. If we're going to win the next 5 matches, then we're first or second, and I think it's really going to be the more pressure that we put on Philadelphia to win, the harder it is for them to win, and that's
Hmm.
where I look at that. So who do we play? So who's up, who's down? Columbus is falling. I'll give you mine. I think Chicago. I think Chicago's going to probably win their little 8-9. They might even move up to 8 and host it. They're certainly making a lot of moves for next year, and I think it's beginning to show dividends here. So who do you see us in your crystal ball? There's no right answer. Richie?
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I almost don't disagree with you with Chicago, maybe even bumping Miami out. Yeah, I mean, Chicago, New York, one of those guys. Miami, if they're the 8 seed at that point, whoever's 7 or 8, yeah, I guess that's who we're supposed to be guessing. I will say Chicago. I'm gonna say Chicago gets in there.
Mark?
Yeah, it's just what I think is going to happen is going to be yet another NYCFC uh,
Boo!
match,
Uh,
and
Boo!
you know,
Boo! You just
it,
said the 5 magic letters that make me
yeah,
boo.
it's just going to end up being that way, just because it happened before, it's going to happen again. But this is another year, and I just think of another year in which we can overcome what has happened past, and and I think we can get by them with with a hopeful strong result against them.
Mark, you physically are hurting me with that pick.
Oh, believe me, I don't want it
I
either.
don't want that because honestly, if we get an Inter Miami who somehow holds on to their 9 games in 35 days or whatever it is, and we have to play them, well, then they have to play a play-in game because if we're first,
Yeah,
then it's a play-in game. If it's second, then it is what it is.
yeah.
So if it's some kind of weird Inter Miami win a play-in game, I think home and home we could. That's a first round win for me. I
yeah,
think Chicago may move up. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Columbus. I thought they were going to be really good. They were there for a while. Maybe they still have time to gel their players. I don't know. I don't pay attention to them all that much. All I know is they've got a lot of work to do, and the playoffs are. I can't wait. Right, so that's kind of what the whole fun of this is that the playoffs started literally 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
Now we're in the middle of the playoffs. Now we're really talking about playoff stuff. So, any final words, Richie, before we get out of here?
I don't have much. I'm just excited for this weekend. I'm ready to be back. It's been 2 weeks, so just want to see our boys out there doing the right things. Just do something good for us.
There you go, Mark.
Well, Richie, I want to ask, give me just your background. Go over, what brought you to FC Cincinnati, what made them, the place you want to be, and of course, get right down to, hey, you're in the front row with the Vanguard. What's that been like? Give us that perspective. How you came to enjoy FCC, and then all the way down to the Vanguard in the front row, checking the net every single week.
Every week. So I want to say it was the year before we became professional, maybe 2. I was at Nippert and I saw one of the matches. I was across from the Bailey, what the Bailey was at that point.
Yep.
And then when the March came in, I remember looking at my wife and saying, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then not too long after that, I found out that my friend Alex Nicholson is
Never heard of
Vanguard. Yeah, he's one of those guys that you probably never heard of, but
I've heard of. He's gonna definitely call me.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, he just said, "Hey, man, I'm part of all that, and you want to come down and check it out?" And I said, "Yeah, I like the party." So here we are. Last season was my first full season, and then yeah, we're year 2 into it as far as it goes, and I'm front row.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've been with them. They're a lively bunch, and you got to on the swivel, particularly during warm-ups. Well, that's all the time that we have here at FCC Supporter Square. I almost said FC Cincinnati because I thought I was playing for the team. That's all we have here for FCC Supporter Square. Looking forward to a W this weekend against Nashville, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for joining FCC Supporter Square. The hosts are Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffolk. The intro song is Quick on the Holster by the Stone Bunnies, and the ending song is Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening. Please join us again.